You're watching Forget Being Cool.
Lucasfilm and Disney have launched the first Star Wars Episode 9 trailer. Guys, get hyped. This is Forget Being Cool News.
Forget Being Cool News.
Welcome to the show. I'm Dave Moore. Joining me is electrical engineer by day, Jeff Daly by night. Hi, Jeff.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. Keith suddenly zoomed in. Keith from We Got Game Pass is here as well. Hi, Keith.
Hey, guys.
Guys, Star Wars. How are we feeling about Star Wars?
Well, go ahead, Jeff.
Well, it's gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do this movie.
I'm so torn right now.
They're bringing back the Emperor in some way.
That was the big reveal, I would say. More than anything else. I mean, it was a teaser trailer. I mean, there wasn't anything really special shown. You had Luke narrating, so at least in some Force ghost way or something, he must be in the movie. But the big thing was obviously the Emperor, cackling at the end. But I mean, for me, Star Wars, I was born in 76. So I think the original Star Wars came out in 79. I think it was
77.
Was it 77?
Mm-hmm.
So I just think my first real memory of going to the theater as a kid is Return of the Jedi. And I love the Star Wars movies. And obviously they have not been great, the last, 5, basically. I mean, I thought The Force Awakens, while enjoyable, got way, way too much hype for what it was. I mean, it was like a Mad Libs retelling of Star Wars 1, or Star Wars 4, I guess, more accurately.
That's what I say all the time. That's what I've been saying. It's Star Wars Episode 7 is just Episode 4.
It really is.
I can accept that. I can sit here and agree with you. That doesn't mean I liked Force Awakens any less. I
still liked it. It just wasn't amazing the way people made it out to be. It was a good, decent movie.
I had a blast in The Force Awakens. I loved that movie. I know that it's a remake, basically. I know that it's not the greatest thing in the world. I know that it's nostalgic pandering, right? But it is a really, really fun ride. Episode 8, the more I think about that movie, the more
angrier you get.
I get angrier and sad and disappointed, and I don't know how to unspiral from that.
Well, you'll be happy to know that they brought up J.J. Abrams as director for this next one.
Yeah, but I'm gonna make a statement here, and
J.J. Lensflare Abrams.
I love J.J. Abrams. I do. Lost is my favorite television show of all time. I also really like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. I know I'm a weird person. No matter what he does to change what happened in Episode 8, either way, he just changed what happened in Episode 8. And therefore, Episode 8 is still a movie that hurt me emotionally. I feel like I'm in a bad relationship with these movies right now. I thought Solo was okay. I thought Rogue One was okay.
I think Rogue One was the best of them.
I liked Rogue One. I
thought Solo was god-awful.
I did not think Solo was god-awful. I didn't think it was great.
I thought Solo, they could have done a lot more.
I agree.
There's a reason why it's a bomb.
The thing I think that made me, of all these movies, the maddest of anything is just what they did to Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker was my childhood hero and just went out like a bitch in these movies. Yes, the very ending with him, shooting everything away as a hologram or whatever was really cool. But the way he was up until that point in the movies was so disappointing that's how they would have him.
Yeah.
He was worse than Yoda.
Yeah, he really was. I mean, Yoda was hiding as the last remaining. He was like, "Nah, F the Jedis." It was. I did not like that at all. I thought that was a terrible way to, represent him.
I agree, and no matter what J.J. Abrams did with this and did with Luke, because Luke's going to appear in some shape or form, no matter what he does here, it'll still feel like, man, he's just kind of catering to fix the problems that came from Episode 8.
What if he appeared and he waved his Force hand and he made Episode 8 disappear?
There we go.
Yeah, but
Sounds
that
like a
doesn't.
good idea to me.
But that doesn't make this trilogy any better. That just makes me go, man, they just took my money for that bad movie that we pretended like didn't happen.
What if they did a Spaceballs?
Snoke was awesome, and we killed him.
Oh my gosh!
And they
That's
killed
the
him
thing that upset
so
me.
anticlimactically. It was like, oh, this is supposed to be the big bad, and oh, here you go, you're dead.
Yeah, like they introduced him as the main villain, and then they just like, all right, he's dead. Why you're hoping like for something like the original trilogy where it's the over-encompassing bad guy?
Something.
It just
So what?
Eight was just so disappointing.
So now we're gonna hear the Emperor cackling, and we're gonna bring the Emperor in here, right? In some shape or form, whether it's a flashback, a Force ghost. Luke, who knows? Luke and the Emperor could fight in Force ghost form. Who cares at this point? Either way, they're not redeeming it because it's too late now. Like I watch this this teaser drops and I go, I don't even know if I want to watch this. Like I almost should just go to the movie and see what they do, right?
Yeah.
And this guy at work is just going, man, you gotta watch it. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll watch it. And I watched it. I go, all right. Like I almost felt worse. Like I feel sad and angry, and I want to go to Star Wars and I want to be excited, but I'm more excited for god dang Detective Pikachu.
Well, that says more about you than. I mean, I will still go see this. I'm still excited. Too. I'm hopeful it's good. They just have not. They have not given me a lot to hang my hat on, and then they've still got. Not even counting whatever side story movies, they've got 6 more movies coming. 6 more.
You know what I hope they do for the next trilogy? I hope they just complete this, ends the saga, and next Star Wars trilogies with completely new people. They just start with a whole new storyline, whole new point in time.
Just make up something completely fresh. They got the Game of Thrones people doing one, and they got the guy that did 8 doing 3. Yeah, because God knows we want the guy that made the worst Star Wars movie other than Episode 2 to make an entire trilogy.
You talking about George Lucas?
2 was better than 1.
God, you know what? George Lucas can't write dialogue to save his life. Okay? And this story is the most convoluted thing ever in the history of media that people love, and I think Star Wars is an extremely overrated franchise in general, and this comes from somebody who loves Star Wars, okay? If George Lucas wants to come back and make a movie at this point, like, God, please, just let him do it.
Can't be any worse than these.
Yeah, it can't be worse than 8. I rather watch Jedi politics at this point. At least in that scenario, I'm bored as hell, but I'm not upset.
I don't know. I was pretty upset about Episode 2. Not gonna lie. The worst Star Wars movie ever made.
See, I think Episode 1 was. I mean, Episode 2 was bad. It had, Hayden Christensen was terrible. But yeah, at least there was no barely any Jar Jar, and they were on Coruscant, which I thought was cool, and yeah.
But Episode 2 is just a romance movie.
Yeah, and I mean, there's other stuff going on, but yeah.
Do we care that she appears to have Luke's lightsaber? Although I think it's just the crystal from her lightsaber. It's probably a new lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't care. Who do you think? Who's the last Skywalker?
All right.
Rey is the last Skywalker per se.
No,
he's the last Skywalker.
Kylo Ren is Ben.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Rey is nobody. Apparently,
Kylo Ren is the last Skywalker.
So
except for General Leia. What are they gonna do with her? What's the reasoning behind? All right, she died, but let's still have her in this movie. What are they gonna do?
I
was very shocked to see that.
She's in a coma. correct? Like,
no, she's dead.
No.
she didn't die. No, Carrie Fisher is dead.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
Yes.
I guess the actor did. The character didn't die. You're right.
Which
Yeah.
at this point makes no sense. Why they didn't just change that moment when she flies back when she died? The movie hadn't come out yet. Get some people in front of green screen, shoot some horrible
Because
reaction.
she was a major character in the rest of the movie. They would have had to reshoot a
She
ton of
wasn't.
it.
She wasn't.
Yes, she was.
No, she comes back and she's in a coma.
And then she
It was
also
pretty
led
major to the movie.
She was in, like the ending scenes, with the Luke there and all that stuff. They wanted to have the scene with her and Luke seeing each other again. So,
All right, fine.
they could have killed her off though towards the end, and then not had to have her in this one.
What if they just do the old movie way or like the old show way, and they just
New
the
actress.
movie starts up and like she's dead, like they just
It's in
at
the
her
scroll.
funeral.
It's in the scroll.
She's just in a funeral. They're just at her funeral. She's just dead. They don't even explain how she died.
What if this movie just opens and it's Rey walking up to Luke on the island, and he doesn't
What if
and he
this-
doesn't throw the lightsaber?
That would have been so much better than them having him do that. That was. Let's leave it on it. Let's leave it on a cliffhanger for 2 years, and
Let-
then
let me-
when we do show up, he's like "F you" and throws it over his shoulder. That was the dumbest hang.
What if they just do a BoJack Horseman and Ray just walks up in 2 hours? She's just in front of the funeral explaining her life.
I want to be happy I'm going to this movie, and I will go to this movie. It's not a question. I'll buy tickets. I'll be there opening night.
Yeah,
But
like you always are.
Like I always go. Every Thursday I have a movie to go to. I got Avengers Endgame. I've got freaking Detective Pikachu like 2 weeks later. I don't know why I'm going to that opening night. That doesn't matter at all. But I'm still doing it. This I feel so messed up.
Yep.
Do we have expectations?
I think it's gonna be a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I don't have expectations. I have hopes.
Okay.
Here's my secret, Dave.
Uh-huh.
I don't go into movies with expectations. That way, the movies are always better than my expectations.
I wish I could do that sometimes.
I
just
wish
can't
I
help it.
had that. Yeah. There's no.
I've never walked out of a movie thinking that movie was terrible.
The only.
Is that something?
No, I generally I love movies no matter what, and it takes something really special for me to be like, what in the heck was that?
That's how I felt out of episode 8. That's
But
the only time I've ever felt that way coming out of a theater.
No. Coming out of the theater, the biggest movie where I walked out, I was like, "What the hell is that?" Was seeing Ratchet and Clank, the movie.
See,
I've
Jeff,
still never seen that, and my life is better for it.
you know what, Jeff? We saw that movie together, and I walked out of that going, "And that sucked," but I didn't hate it. Like I didn't feel burned. Like I didn't have.
Well, you didn't have expectations going into a Ratchet and Clank movie. It was something to go do. It wasn't like a Star Wars movie where you go in and you're really hyped for it.
See, that's the thing.
You get let down.
You're right, Keith. Star Wars isn't an event. It's a big deal. Yes, it's a silly movie. It's a silly space drama movie. But at its core, for us as loyal fans, this means something. I'm still worried they're gonna screw up Endgame because I'm worried they're gonna go back in time, and time travel is hard.
Well, isn't that what they always do in comic books when they think they've messed up too much? Like, oh, we need to go back in time, and they do that.
I know.
Well,
Anyway,
they could do the time stone, so it's right there. So
if
we'll see.
we just give Kylo his mask back, and Luke comes back as a Force ghost and is cool, and Rey
What if they
turns.
found a way to tie in Marvel Endgame and Star Wars The Last Skywalker together? It's a tie-in
So
because they're both owned by Disney. What if at the end of Marvel, Rey comes through and just kills Thanos?
The only last thing I want. What if everybody gets dusted at the end of episode 9?
Started. And there you go.
Half of everybody gets dusted. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
The last thing I want to throw out here is there is an old Star Wars like fictional story about the Skywalkers, which are like the group of not Jedi, not Sith, but after that era where they are balanced with the Force because it's after the history of the Jedi and the Sith. Do we think that's what this title is referring to in any way? The Skywalkers, not the Skywalker family, but the Skywalker race of Force-using users? No thoughts?
No. I have no idea what they're going to do. I'm just going to watch it at this point and see what happens, you know? It's no clue where they're going with it.
Movie, all the Skywalkers are killed off. Boom. No more Skywalkers. All these movies have revolved around Skywalkers. They need to explore life outside Skywalkers.
See, that's the thing, though. Like, if they just kill, Ben, right? If they just kill Kylo, like, F that. If they just wrap this up by...
You know, he is the bad guy. He's probably going to die.
I know.
Probably.
I want him to redeem himself. I feel like that's how this ends. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching
I
this
don't know,
episode.
according to Dave, he'd have to do a mighty big thing to redeem himself because he did much more than release the Burn book and made a girl fat.
Anyway,
He's going
guys,
to need to throw a party for everybody.
thanks for watching this episode of Forget Being Cool News. That's Jeff Daly. He's on the Film Impact. He's making a joke about Mean Girls, which will come out weeks and weeks from now. That's Keith Dahl. He's on We Got Game Pass. The episode of us talking about, what is it? I just edited it.
Halo?
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, that's the most recent one that's
comes
on air.
out on Tuesday. So that's the thing. And Keith and I are about to talk about Halo 5, but that hasn't happened yet for you guys.
That'll happen for like 6 weeks, yeah.
Right. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'm Dave Moore. I'm on all these shows for some reason. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. Subscribe to the channel.
Thanks for watching or listening to Forget Being Cool. If you enjoyed our show, share it with your friends. If you'd like to help us out, hit that like button. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. Then subscribe to Forget Being Cool. We discuss the things you love.